What is up, you guys? Check out these random, like totally unexpected Facebook Lives and even on a Friday night. Because I do have time, and tomorrow I won't have time at all to respond to any or help you guys at all with inviting. Chad and I are going to a faith-based seminar for parenting that happens to be in town. We're really excited for it. And so I know a lot of you guys are probably unplugged and enjoying your night, but I thought I would jump in anyway and see if there was anyone that needed any help at all when it comes to inviting and some of the things that I've been posting. So I see you guys are popping on, and so, all I was saying was, like, tomorrow I'm going to be completely out of pocket, I know I look rough because I really did. I got a bath, and I was laying down. I was like, you know what? I do have time to help, and tomorrow I'm not going to have time to help because we're going to be at a faith-based parenting seminar, and so I'm going to be completely, like, out of pocket, 100%. And so I thought I'd pop in tonight and see where you guys are at, let you guys, like, type and ask questions according to things. I have all my scripts out and everything right now to help you, and I'm going to read through some of these things. Give me a thumbs up if some of the scripts are helping with you guys navigating your wording. Something that I think that a lot of people aren't realizing is that in Coach Essentials, these scripts are there. I know I've been working hands-on, like, more with you guys and directly telling you what to do, and I don't mind at all. But if you ever get stuck, like I'm not there, which happens, or you can't get a good feel on it, if you go to Coach Essentials for the 5-day, it's called 5-day Shake Invite Ideas. Ideas for wording. It's in there, and it takes you through different things that you can say. You can tweak it to make it your own. These are all things that I have used and I just copied and pasted. You know what I mean? When I respond to people, I'll copy and paste and put it in there so that you guys can see. And really, I hope what you're catching on to is that right now, whether you're inviting to a free challenge, a 5-day Shakeology challenge, or a 30-day for a challenge pack or whatever, the wording doesn't change. You know what I mean? The questions, it's all starting from wanting to get to know more about them. You have to plant the seed. That's the first and foremost thing is you guys need to realize, and hopefully you're catching on to that as you see how I'm responding to people that say that what they have is working or whatever, that you're planting the seed and you're becoming the light in their life, right? Your job is to love bomb these people, that are on your list. And the seed is planted, and honestly, when I plant the seed, that's as far as I expect it to go. And sometimes these conversations can stretch out for years. You're like, what? Years. See, I think sometimes our expectations are a little too intense, really. You know what I mean? We expect a lot out of people. We expect people to act like robots. We expect people to jump right in. And sometimes, not some of us did, but most of us did not jump right in the first time we were invited. And so I'm going to ask you to not forget where you came from, to always remember what your journey looked like, how long it took you, how many times you told your coach no. And then once you said yes, did you really jump in full go? Did you ever call it a pyramid scheme? I did. You know what I mean? Did you ever say you didn't have time? Just don't forget where you came from, even though you know what a blessing this could be for them and that your heart's in the right place. They have not been surrounded the way you've been surrounded. They have not had the small victories that you've had that have helped build your belief. It's like someone that's growing in their faith. And I'm going to go here for a second. It's someone that's growing in their faith, that hasn't seen any miracles. You know what I mean? Like I've seen them, so it's not hard for me to believe. Okay, it's not. I've seen some crazy things line up, and so it's really easy for me to believe, right? But summer of 9 years ago, that didn't have any faith, had never really been exposed to that. I'm sure there was miracles all around me, and God's hand was on everything, I'm sure. But I didn't have the eyes to see or the ears to hear. It was never talked about like that, so I didn't see that. And so I didn't believe like that. Do you know what I mean? And so there are people in my life that were very patient and are still very patient as I grow, right? And so when I'm talking with someone that is struggling in their faith, I always remember how the summer of 9 years ago felt. You know, the safe place that my sponsor mom gave me to ask questions, and all the crazy questions that some of you that have been growing in your faith forever, right? Maybe since you were young, you know, maybe some of my questions were silly, would have been silly to you, right? You know, one of my big hangups I was sharing on the Redefined webinar the other day was like, why do kids die? I don't get it. I didn't get it. You know, I couldn't see how a loving God could just do that. So, you know, right? So that now, like, I get it. You know what I mean? I mean, on some level. And so, but my sponsor mom was always, let me ask those questions, you know, and to me, that's kind of like saying, like, isn't this a pyramid scheme? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, being that safe place for someone to ask those questions and not get offended, you know, not get offended. You know, my sponsor mom never got offended. Her belief in her God was never in question, because she knew what she believed and she was strong in that, right? And so when I was asking these questions, she was calm with me because she was firm in that. And so when you're firm in your belief in what, I know this is not near as strong, and please don't twist my words, or when it comes to faith and God. I'm not comparing Shakeology to Jesus. Please don't take it that way. But like, when you think about what Shakeology's done for you, you've lived it. Like, I've lived what Shakeology's done for me. You know what I mean? I have lived what this team has done for me. I have lived what challenge groups have done for me for 7 years, through 2 deployments, through the birth of 2 different kids, through a struggle in my marriage. But I've lived it. So I believe, I get it. My feelings, my emotions are attached to that. But the people that I'm being entrusted with, they're not there yet. You know, and so my job is to stay patient, to stay calm, to give grace, to remember where I came from on my journey and how long that took me, and to not expect anything more of anybody else. And so I want you guys to remember that. That's the first thing you have to remember when you're sitting these. There should be no discouragement. That shouldn't even cross your mind. I mean, think about my sponsor mom. When her and I were talking, she never left like discouraged in what her belief system was. Do you know what I mean? Like, that should never cross your mind, like, this isn't working. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you should be so firm, like in your belief as to what this team can do for people, what challenge groups and the whole system can do for someone's life. You know what I mean? That you're just patient. You're not going anywhere. Do you know what I mean? And there should no discouragement really shouldn't set in, because your belief is so firm. And so your first expectation, we're just planting the seed. We're just talking to people. Okay. And so even the people that don't respond, I don't care. You're planting the seed, right? And so this is where social media comes in. This is where the belief maker, the setting the example part, do you know what I mean, comes in to help them start to make progress in their belief in themselves, in the process, in this being worth their investment, in this being worth their time, that they do have time, that kind of stuff. So that's the first thing you have to remember, that all those invites, the 40 that you sent out, none of them are forsaken, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? None of them are for nothing. You know, they are out there. You know, the seeds are planted, and now it's time to either plow, you know, which means like you're plowing, you know, social media, you're plowing their hearts, you're getting the rocks and the roots and all that's in there, right? Those scars that develop so that the seed can't plant, you're plowing, you know, you're plowing so that the seed can take root a little bit and a sprout can come up, and then you're protecting with social media so it can grow. That's the belief system. That's how it grows, and then it bears fruit in time. You know what I mean? Asparagus takes 3 years to grow. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, to really get a good batch of asparagus, ask Nicole, ask my sister-in-law. Her boyfriend grows asparagus. We just had this discussion the other day. 3 years to get a really good tasting, stock, a couple stalks of asparagus. 3 good years. So, it's a process with people. And so when it gets planted, your job is to plow, to continue, so that seed can take root and protect. Okay? Give it time. Okay, give it time. You have to consider all of these things when you're inviting, okay? Because the process, when no one's responding to you, the battle is won between the ears. Okay, and it is a battle, because your belief in what you're doing and the value that you can add, of how the tools you have can change someone's life, you're being tested, so to speak. You know what I mean? And the stronger you stand in it, the stronger your conviction becomes. And so think of it that way. Now, when people are responding, hopefully some of the wording is really, really helping you guys. But like I opened with, I want you guys, it seems like a lot of people don't even know that Coach Essentials exists. And I get it, because lots of people are being added from different teams and stuff like that all the time. You guys, I want you to know, Coach Essentials is not something that I just made up and then I just gave it to you guys, and I look at Coach Essentials every single day. When some of you guys were posting what people are saying to you, where I was getting my response, I was on my phone. I went to my Google hard drive, which you have access. If you go to Google hard drive on your phone, like, you have to load it. Okay, it looks like, can you see it? It looks like that right there, boop, on there. If you go to that, let me see. Can you see it? Do you see that little, whatever, magnifying glass up there? If you go there and you type in Coach Essentials, it'll pop up. And you'll be able to find it, okay? And then it's something I go to. It is my business center. Here you go. It's how I run my business. Here you go. Here you go. You can run it just like I go to it every single day. So when I was responding to some of your guys's, I was opening Google hard drive. I was going to what's what? Coach Essentials? Coach Essentials is in your Google hard drive. Like, if you got to load it, it's an app. It's an app just like PhotoFi would be an app. It's an app that you would go and just load it, and then go to that magnifying glass, put Coach Essentials, and everything that I use every single day is there, all organized. And so there is, they're all, invite wording and training is right there. You just click on it, and that's what I did. And the very first one is 5 day, well, you're not gonna be able to see it, 5-day invite ideas and how to. And then I was just clicking on it, and I was going through some of the examples, right? And I was kind of copying and pasting and then tweaking a little bit for you guys, and then I was sending the message off, and so, because that's totally duplicatable. Okay, and that is, this business, it's important, and I still go to those. Like, it's not like it just comes to me automatically. I mean, obviously I'm much better at it now, but I still have to go to it on a regular basis to check. Okay, in Coach Essentials, what I noticed somebody else didn't know is that so there's all the folders at the top of Coach Essentials, right? Hold on, I'm gonna open it here real quick, and then if you scroll down in Coach Essentials, there's things like, say that, set up a new challenger checklist. So exactly what I do from start to finish with a new challenger, and a new challenger starts with me as soon as they give me the verbal commitment. They are good as closed from a business perspective. As soon as they say, yes, I'm in. See, that's where some of you guys, and this is all learning, some of you guys are making that mistake, is you're actually waiting for them to purchase to consider them in. You know what I mean? And right in here, if you go to that checklist, it actually guides you. It guides you to do that. It says, it says, that's for new coaches. So I have a checklist if you start a new coach. As an exact checklist, and it's what I follow. As soon as I start a new coach, I pull up that checklist and I start going through it, and I follow it all the way through with a new coach. But the new challenger checklist, the very first thing is it gives you a link to follow to sign them up, a step-by-step process to send them. And then it says as soon as they verbally commit, I add them to the group. Verbally commit, I add them in, I get them excited. I treat them like a challenger. Do you know what I mean? When I do a challenger kickoff call, or if I recorded something for them, or I send it right to them, all the way up into it. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't care if they haven't ordered. I'm treating them. I'm getting them around there. You know what I mean? And when it gets too close, like Friday, I'm like, hey girl, we're going to be way behind. And I know it can be confusing sometimes, but let's jump on the phone this weekend. Let's get you all ordered. I can walk you right through it. Make sure you get the Shakeology you want, and just make sure we even pick out the workout that you want to start with on Beachbody On Demand, and just, really map it out for you. What time's good on Saturday? You know what I mean? Or if you do it on Thursday, what time is good between now and Saturday? Do you know what I mean? So that's how I'm always working with people. But still, if they don't respond to me, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, you want to know why? I'm not saying I don't care. I'm not saying that my heart isn't connected to them. I'm saying I don't care because I know I'm still going to be here. I don't care because I understand the stage of change that people have to go to. I understand that I planted a seed, it took root, and then something squashed it. And it's not always me that squashed it. Do you know what I mean? It could have been a spouse that took it and plucked that right, stomped right all over it. It could have been the sun came out and squished it. That's the negativity, the naysayers in their life came out. They got all excited, told them what they were going to do, and they're like, I tried that. It doesn't work. Do you know what I mean? And boom, that's the sun that came out, right? The sprout was up, scorched it. Gone. Do you know what I mean? But I know that I keep planting seeds. And now that soil, the way I see that soil, if I got that far with someone, that soil is pretty darn fertile. Pretty darn fertile. And I can keep planting seeds on it and keep protecting it and keep doing all of that stuff. Do you know what I mean? And I'm still going to be here if it takes them 5 years to come around. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to still be here showing my own progress. I'm going to still be here showing other people's progress. I'm going to still be here adding value and helping people so they will come around. That is my mindset around this. Does that make sense? And so I want you guys to really get in the habit of using these tools. I mean, if I still use them, why not you? Every day I pull it up. It is saved on my toolbar. Every single day I go to Coach Essentials and it comes up, and everything that I do comes from it. Everything that I do every single day comes from Coach Essentials. So I want you guys to use it. So as you're navigating these things with people, okay, as you've noticed, is questions are king. Questions. I don't care if the person is like, hey, so how much is this going to cost me? You do not want to go in and go, it's only $20. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't, no, we're not there yet. That's our initial, like we want to do that, but that's not the direction you want to go with it. Okay? What you want to do, if you're inviting for a 5-day, is you want to ask more questions. Like, hey, well, it really depends. It depends what direction we want to go. It depends what the best fit for you is. So that I know that I'm pointing you in the right direction, so that I know that I'm serving you correctly, I really want to kind of ask you some questions and dig into it. So where do you feel like you're struggling? What are some of your goals right now? Do you struggle more with the fitness side or the nutrition side like I did? And you can do that in a voice message, Never send multiple voice messages. That is the worst feeling, to open something and to see 4 voice messages stacked. Do you know what I mean? But if it's one voice message, 60 seconds, that's easy. I can listen to that. Do you know what I mean? And they can hear your voice. They can hear your heart. But it has to come to you have to be sharing something that is feeling that, really pulls at their emotion. You know what I mean? So if you're sharing if they say well, I don't know, I'm just tired all the time. My husband doesn't support me in anything. I've tried everything. Nothing works. They're kind of starting to show their wounds to you, their vulnerability. That might be where I come in with a voice message so they can hear my vulnerability. Hey girl, listen, I get it. The summer of 7 years ago was living right in that space that you are right now. Chad could eat anything. He would eat it in front of me. You know what I mean? I felt like I ran half marathons. I taught boot camps. I went to class. And for the life of me, I couldn't get to that place where I felt good about me. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, that's where you might come in with a voice message. Okay? You don't have to. But sometimes if you feel like they're not feeling your heart, that's the best thing to do. Okay? You can't mess it up. Okay? Write that down. You cannot mess this up. Let me tell you why. The only way you can mess this up is if you go in and do this and then quit and disappear. That's a mess up. I'm just going to be honest with you. That's messing up. That is messing up the people you reached out to. That is messing up the whole system because of how it works with building trust, how we're wired to connect, you know how we function and how the limbic brain works. That is a mess up. You know what I mean? Not that you can't recover from it. I've seen many people recover from it, but that is the worst thing you can do is disappear or stop conversating, and you're not love bombing them anymore. You're not present. You're not being positive on Facebook. You're not shining light. You're not being like that is why you can't mess up, because your heart is going to shine through in time. Okay? Listen to me. If you're brand new, I get it. But your heart is going to shine through in time. It takes time for people to get to know you. So you have got to stay. You have got to. When you come in with this conviction, the conviction of, I'm going to be here 4 years from now. Like Christy, I always mess up her name. I think it's Kronsner. You know, when you come in with that conviction, I'm going to be here 4 years from now. When that is your mindset, you can't mess this up, because your heart's going to, if you stay coachable through all that, your heart's going to shine through. We're going to teach you ways to fall on your sword, to go like, wait, wow, man, I've had to do this before. I totally missed this message somehow. That is not honorable in the slightest. Will you please forgive me? You know, like, that's part of leadership, you know, and that's something that we learn together as long as you have that mindset, that belief, right? I'm going to be here. You know, I'm here. You know, you can't mess that up. So you guys have to realize that the questions are king, and it's getting to know. So there's two things that are very, very valuable, and one thing that really, really doesn't matter. Okay. So two things that are really, really valuable are asking questions. Okay. And your story and other people's stories. Okay. Those are the two most valuable things. The things that don't matter, the one thing that really doesn't matter is facts. They don't matter. Where your brain makes decisions does not house logic. It houses emotion. The same part of the brain that makes decision is what houses emotions, not logic, right? So we can fact people to death on the fact that they spent $5 on the unicorn shake, and did you know that this shake is only blah, blah, blah? You know what I mean? And it's broken down, and there's this much sugar in that, and this much sugar in this, and there's no protein in this, and there's this and this, and we can fact people to death, but no one goes like, oh, she's right. You know what I mean? All they're thinking about is how good that unicorn thing tasted, how much they're hurting inside, whether their husband left them, cheated on them, or they've been molested, or what other scars are out there? They're going through a depression, they're going through postpartum, their husband deployed. I mean, I could go on and on about the reasons that people make decisions, their feelings, their emotions, right? It's not a logic thing, right? And so in my challenge groups, the first thing I get them to do is figure out their why power, right? And so I'm not even trying to fact them to death in my challenge group, even once they've made the decision. I'm not facting them about how many calories are in a pound of fat and how much you have to burn and all this kind of stuff. It doesn't matter. That's not it's not like, oh, I didn't know that, I better go for a walk. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't work that way. And so those are the three things you really need to know. Questions matter. Do not jump right into telling them all about what it is. Do you know what I mean? Don't tell them. You need to know more about them, because that's how you're going to direct them. Things are going to come out about their fears, about, you know, things they've tried, what they're struggling with. They're tired. They have too much on their plate, this, that, and the other. And you can talk to them through feel, felt, found. You know what I mean? I get how, I know how you feel. I felt that way when Chad deployed for the first time, and I had a 10-month-old and a 4-year-old, and the Marine Corps dropped us in the middle of nowhere, and I felt so alone. I get it. I felt like I was juggling a million different plates. What I found was when I got surrounded, when I just started to make small changes in a group of supportive, amazing women, that things started to change. My spirit started to lift. My energy started to go up. My cravings started to go down. And I started to believe in myself for the first time in a really long time. Will you give me 5 days to show you that? To get you started on the same journey that I started on. I mean, does that sound bad? I mean, they still might come and go, you know what? I'm so glad it worked for you, Summer, and it's really good for you. But I just, no, I don't want to do it. I don't have the time to do it. I don't like those stupid shakes. I've tried Shakeology. They don't taste good, but they can go on. And I'm not offended. I'm not offended. You know what I mean? You know what? I get it. I totally get it. It's okay. And you know what? It's not a good fit for you right now. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste your money. I don't want to make you feel any more knocked down than you already do. But here's something that I can promise you. I can promise you I will always be here. If there's any way that I can support you, if there's any way that I can encourage you, if there's any way that I can help you move forward, I will always be here. So please don't hesitate to reach out. Does that make sense? Okay, you know what I mean? There's no way that they can come back or say, she's an ass. How could anybody say that? And then when my social media lines up with those messages, when the two hearts come together, when they see those and they line up, trust builds. Trust right there. When the two line up, trust grows. Right? And as you keep doing those call to actions on Facebook, you keep sharing your journey, you keep sharing your scars, and you keep going live and that kind of stuff, they start to locate themselves in your story and say, why not me? You know what? They finally hit rock bottom. They finally hit that stage of change where they've had enough, and they know exactly who they are safe to come running to, because your arms are going to be open like this. You're going to welcome them back. It's not going to be well, it's about damn time. You know what I mean? You're not going to give them the right act. You're not going to read them the right act. You're not going to make fun of them. You're not going to push them to, to do things that they're not ready for, but that you're gonna start them out in that 5-day group, and you're gonna help them build belief and momentum goals and start building that foundation, and they know that. So I don't know if that helps, but you guys, what I want to focus on for the next 10 to 15 minutes, and I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna go watch a movie with Chad, but I want to hear what kind of objections you're getting, or I want to help you with your responses wherever you're at. I see Kara says, you send it to them, or do you have them buy the 7-day sampler? I personally send it to them because I don't want to do the 7-day sampler. I'm going to be honest, I don't like it. I'm just going to be completely honest. I don't like all the flavors. I like a cheaper, I like to keep different business centers open for me, so I like to maximize the comp plan. So I first maximize the comp plan with Chad, and then you get your second business center, and I maximize the comp plan by keeping that open. And so that's a very strategic business move for me, in terms of maximizing the comp plan and keeping the business centers active and not taking a loss and stuff. But also, I have more luck when it's I send them 4 or 5 packets. You can do 4. Think about 4 goes into 24 6 times, so you can have 6 challengers every single month. Do you know what I mean? That should be your goal, honestly. You would be building your funnel if that was your goal. If every single month, without fail, you had 6 people with 4 packets that you were sending out, that's only $20 to start someone. And so as you start getting to the cost, and they're I don't know, I just don't know if I can, I don't even know, what does this all entail? This is what I'd say. Listen, there's so many different options, but this is where I want to start with you. This is where I want to start with you. I want to start with you in this 5-day group. It's not too overwhelming. Get you surrounded. Start making, positive changes and working on progress and not perfection. It's only $20 for the group. You can see if it's a good fit. You can see if we work well together. You can see if it fits into your life right now, and we can get that those nutritional gaps filled in your body, and really just start to jumpstart you in the right direction over a 5-day period. That's where I'd love to start with you, so you're not overwhelmed. That's what I would say to people. That's how I explain it, and of course, depending on the personality, they can want more information or whatever, and we can keep going back and forth. And it's like, what, I'm also going to send you, I'm going to send you a meal plan guide that really helped me simplify things, and a meal plan organizer that kind of took the pressure off me. I didn't have to guess what to do, and a video, that I've done to help walk people through that so that you don't have to figure it out by yourself. You know what I mean? And so they start to realize they're getting more than just this shake and, this, multi-level marketing thing. Oh, here she goes pushing this thing on me. Do you know what I mean? They're going to get more, like you're there for them, And so hopefully that helps with that question. Hold on. Okay, crockpot business. Yes, ma'am. I love that. Yes, we have a crockpot business. It takes time, and you got to think every day in a you put all the ingredients in, make sure the crockpot is plugged in. And that's personal development. If you don't plug in your crock pot, it doesn't cook the ingredients inside. I've done that before, like for real, in real life. I forget to plug in the crock pot, and you come back at 6 and you're like, oh my gosh, oops. So Chad just laughed at me because it's true. But in this business, you keep putting the same ingredients, keep it plugged in. Plugged in is the personal development. You keep putting in invites, you keep putting in connecting with people, you keep putting in your social media piece, you keep putting in your own journey every single day, right? And over time, you get this big, awesome, like amazing meal, right? But you just have to be patient for it. You know what I'm saying? You just have to be patient for it. It doesn't happen overnight. But if you do it this way versus the microwave and trying to push it and hard close people and you get frustrated with them and all that, if you're patient and you have that feeling, like people can feel that when you're excited but you're confident and you're patient in it, like what you got in the like what you have, you know what I mean? You're not going anywhere. Like people can feel that, and that's really, really important. So let me see what else you guys have had. I need to commit to doing these 4-day Shakeology groups. So Yes, these are absolutely vital. I do them even if I'm doing 4 packets for each person. I call it a 5-day group, and I tell them that the 5th day is the wrap up, a place to ask questions, a place to tweak some things as they move forward. It's kind of the bonus day or whatnot. So that's how I do that. Let me tell you something else that I do that works really well. Is my 5-day group doesn't close. Okay, it stays open and changes into my 30-day group every single month. The header changes and everything. Everybody stays in there. I let them know the last, and it's in the template, the 30-day template, if you guys needed the wording, but it, which is in Coach Essentials. It changes, the header changes for the month. I let them know that, thanking them. You guys, I love that some of you guys are moving forward with us. This is all in text. I don't go live on this, unless I feel the need to, but, I let them know that, some people have already decided to move forward, and I love that, and this group is going to stay just how it is. It's going to stay open. You have some time to decide, to talk to your spouse, to see if you want to move forward, to see if we can continue to serve you, and to really see if this is a good fit, and so we'll give you until Friday, to make that decision. Then we'll just start removing you. It's no big deal, that if it's not the right time, we're always going to be here. It's that same type of message in the group. In the 5-day group that changes to the 30-day group, and I tell them that it's changing, and they start seeing people added, and during that time they see the excitement, the pinky swear, the stories are coming out, do you know what I mean? And so they're in there. It's still part of the process, the belief building process. And then we take our people out on Friday that didn't purchase, and we move that, we send them a message, or I send them a message like, hey girl, I went ahead and removed you from the group. I didn't want you to continue to get all those notifications since it's not the right time. If you change your mind, I will be here with open arms, and we will pick up right where we left off, building on everything you've been doing, making small tweaks, talking about your goals, and tweaking some of the things that you've done. Sound good? Awesome. So we leave on that good note. Do you see what I'm saying? And then I check in with them every couple weeks. Hey girl, just thought I'd check in with you. How are you doing? How are some of the tools? Are you still using some of the tools that we gave you in the 5-day? Are you still working on the goal? Because they have to tell me their goals for the 5-day. Are you still working on this, this, and this? How are you doing with this obstacle that you faced during the time? So the conversation is just always going. I have gone on for years from a 5-day for years, for a 5-day before they do a 30-day with me. And a lot of times, by the time they sign up for the 30-day, they sign up as a coach because they've watched me breadcrumb that on social media for 2 years, right? So their belief in that process, like, that kind of sounds fun to be a part of. They've watched us. They've watched us go to, Success Club trips. They've watched us go to Summit by that time. They've watched me go to Danny with banana phones. They've watched me have retreats. They've watched me go to Super Saturdays. They've watched me go on trips with my family. They've watched all kinds of things by that time. So their belief, like they've been surrounded by the success. Remember, that's part of the belief making. And the success, I'm not talking financially. I don't talk about those things on Facebook. You'll never see me post my financial success on Facebook. Actually, there's a video that circulates that actually, I don't like it when it circulates because it tells how much we make, and then it's almost like it takes me and puts me on this pedestal that people think they can't reach, which isn't true. And so anyway, so I don't know if that helps, but that's my mindset all the time. And I'm always filling my funnel. I'm always meeting new people. I'm always seeing who's hitting like and who's commenting. I'm adding new to my list every single month. I'm following up and going back and seeing how they're doing. And as they tell me, like, no, girl, I fell completely off. And it's not like, and I told you so. I don't go right in for a bang, like, okay, let's start with the 30-day. It's like, tell me what happened. Tell me what triggered that again, and then they're like, oh my gosh, like my dog died. And so now we talked about that, right? You want to ask questions. What triggered that? Is this typical? You know what I mean? And it's like, yes, oh my gosh, like this is just so something I go through. It's like, I get it. I am the yo-yo queen, I tell people, and I've been recovering. I'm recovering, so I get it. There's no judgment here, but what I do know is the more I kept myself surrounded by people moving in a positive direction, the more I stayed firm in my changes. And I built on them. And when I fell down, someone was there to pick me back up, to encourage me, to inspire me, to lift me up. Do you know what I mean? So that's the kind of conversation. So why don't you listen? Listen, give me 30 days to get you surrounded by a group of people for a consistent, longer period of time. And let me show you what momentum can really be built. And at the end of the 30 days, if it's not a good fit, if it didn't do anything for you, if it really just wasn't for you, I'll help you get your money back. I will. I don't want you to waste your money. And I say these things to people all the time because I don't. I can tell you, I think in 7 years I've had one person take me up on that. And again, I was not offended. Why? Because I know what it does. And I know that they're just not at the right place for it. I know that their husband was probably behind the scenes nagging at them. You never do what you're supposed to do. You never finish anything. The kids are driving me crazy. Why do you got to do this at 5:30 at night? It's getting in the way. I don't want to do this. Why you always got to eat healthy? I know what it looks like from the spouse behind the scenes. I've heard it for too many years. So this person, I know what they were dealing with, or finances get in the way, or they really are, and they just they can't take it, and I have compassion for that. And I don't want them to feel trapped. Do you know what I mean? And I want them to know that. So I don't know if this is helping you guys, but I haven't seen any new questions come in here about, I wanted to help you guys directly with responses to what people are saying. You know what I mean? And so do any of you guys have any, responses, some things you're dealing with that you can type below here so that I can directly respond to that? If you're just now tuning in, I really, really, when we're done with this, I really would love you to go back and listen to the beginning. Some things, there's some mindset things that have to happen with your invites the same way some mindset things have to happen with your challengers. Does that make sense? They're very, very similar. We get frustrated with our challengers. Like our challengers send you messages, might send you a message, and they're like, this isn't working. It's like day 7. And this isn't working. I knew it wasn't going to work. I'm so frustrated. I'm up 2 pounds. And you're like, it's been 7 days. You know what I mean? Like, are you for real? Right? But on the other hand, you send your coach a message that says, I've invited for a whole month and nothing's happening. And your coach on the other end is going, it's been a month. You know what I mean? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, so your mindset, just like the challenger's mindset has to switch from the microwave mindset in fitness, so does our mindset in business. Does that make sense? Okay, let's see. I'm starting to get some good questions. How do you breadcrumb this on Facebook? Well, I would ask you this question first because I thought it was really, really good. Chalene Johnson shared on the National Wake Up Call a little bit about breadcrumbing, and that Facebook Live is absolutely vital. You know, it's so people can it's how we're wired. And so sharing your scars, sharing your struggles, sharing how things helped you, sharing the objections that you used to say. Don't be afraid to, like, you will see me say in my post, that stupid shake. That's really what I called it. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not afraid to say that. Do you know what I mean? And I'm very upfront about that. I'm the one that said I like to chew my food. And I'll talk about those kind of things. I was against supplements, you guys. I was a personal trainer. I have been a personal trainer. I mean, I'm still certified for going on 11 years. And I was the one that would not sell the nutritional supplements at the gym. I just wouldn't. When I looked at the back, I was like, there is no way I'm going to let my clients put this in their body. And so I took those crap supplements and I placed that mindset on top of every supplement, to the point when Shakeology was released and Chad had kind of researched it and was kind of game for it. I was like, no, you know what I mean? I was the personal trainer. I know I'm not. That is crap. I want to chew my food, first of all. Second of all, I need to eat clean. And that's how I'm going to do it. Do you know what I mean? And so it took me a while, and so I'll share that kind of stuff in conversation with people, the feel, felt, found. When people say I like to chew my food, I know how you feel. I felt that way when I was a, personal trainer, in Whidbey Island, Washington, or what I tell my story, you know what I mean? A little bit. And so, I don't know if that helps, but you want to breadcrumb it in to your post. At least once a day, in my opinion, with in different aspects. You know what I'm saying? Like, or at least every other day. Like, and I'm not saying the word Shakeology, not saying Beachbody. Like, nobody knows what Shakeology is unless you're a coach. No one really knows Beachbody on Demand or BOD. What does that mean? You know what I mean? Like, you have to come out and you have to share, like, how, for me, I hated missing dinner. All the good classes at the gym were always at like 5:30 a.m. or 5:30 at night. And if I went to them or taught them, I was missing dinner, or, Riley's bedtime was coming up because she was a baby and lugging him in there. And it was just a mess. You know what I mean? So I'll share those kinds of things with people, and share it on Facebook and stuff like that. Let's see. So listen, if you haven't listened to Chalene Johnson's, National Wake Up Call, that's going to really, really help you to learn how to breadcrumb, because she shares some of this kind of stuff about storytelling. And if you go to, what's it called? The 12-day new coach training, whatever day it is that I teach on storytelling, that's a good one to listen to over and over and over again to learn about storytelling. And I am planning to teach you guys a little bit more, like in like a 7-day group, how to share more storytelling social media style. So that's coming. I got interest, then crickets, trying to be patient. Tell me more about that, April. Like, when you get interest, when did it become crickets? And you kind of got to look back and see, like, why did it become crickets? Do you know what I mean? Did you have all their needs yet? Like, you know what I mean? Like, generally, once I kind of understood this, I didn't really get crickets very often. I still get the no, the objection, the I'm not ready or whatever. I still get those kind of things, but as long as I kept it focused on them, I generally didn't get to the cricket side of things. Because it was very, the invite process was very geared towards what they were telling me. So I'd love to hear, like, when it became crickets. But again, when it is crickets, I gave you guys that that template, like that script, so the wording that says like, hey, if it's not a good time, I totally get it. If it's not the right fit for you, that's okay. And if it ever becomes something that could benefit you, or you know anyone that I could serve, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here with my arms wide open, with a servant heart. You know what I mean? Like, you can say those things to people. And again, that was all just part of planting the seed. I get a lot of people asking for info without saying yes. That's totally normal, you know. And I wouldn't. And when people ask for the info, I don't give them the info, because it's not time yet. I'm gonna just be honest. And the way to invite is not to just give the info like we were talking about today. But when someone says, give me more info, I would come back and say, well, I'm going to be completely honest. It's going to depend on, you know, what direction we go, you know, what's the best fit for you. You know, the last thing I want to do is guide you in a way that doesn't fit you and doesn't serve you. So first, I would love to know, where are you even at on your journey right now? Like, what are your goals? What are you working towards? What are some of your biggest victories right now? What are some of your biggest struggles? That's where I would go with that, with people. And you might, if you're a brand new coach, now I'm thinking about that, April, we were talking about this a second ago. Now I think about it, if you're a brand new coach and this is like people haven't seen you talking about it, you might get crickets on that right there. You know what I mean? Because they're really not sure, what do you mean by serve them, and what is she doing? Do you know what I mean? This is where an Elizabeth right here, Beth, was talking about today, like, she kind of like sent those invites out, and she was so excited because now here comes social media and the importance of it. She's like, I can't wait to get my workout in and post and to share my story and to weave it in. You know what I mean? Because now they're watching on Facebook. It's the way Facebook Affinity works. The messages go out. It shows that you guys are conversing. Now your Facebook post shows up in their newsfeed more. And so Beth was spot on when she was like, I can't wait to get my post. That's why I told my sister-in-law to go live tonight, because now the conversations are going, and now this is where we either plow people's hearts or we protect the sprout so that it can grow. Okay. I have so many enrollments just sitting there. People are excited and give their email, and after, let me be honest, and I was just talking to Christy Kronsner. I always say it wrong. I really should find out how to say that properly. She's amazing if you don't follow her. But her and I both don't do that enrollment with the app thing. But let me tell you why. Let's see. On my phone right now, I have 2,590 emails. And the last thing I want is another email. I'll just be honest. I don't want an email. Don't send me an email. Don't breadcrumb to me through email. I'm not reading your emails, Shalene. I'm not reading your emails. All the different people, you know, Danny Johnson. I'm not reading your emails. Not doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not reading any of the emails coming through. Emails get lost all the time. I've actually had to hire assistants just for my emails, because I'll miss things that are coming in on Summit and stuff like that, or, you know, the Summit meeting room that we're renting. Those are things I can't miss. You know what I mean? And so it's why I don't do the enrollment process. I keep it all in one place, or I say, you know what, it might be easier if we just jump on the phone so I can make sure that it's not overwhelming to you, and then we can start to pick out what workouts and map out what you're going to do, and I can just get you set up. You know what I mean? And so that's what Christy does as well, right? So you go in and you go directly for it. So if you have so many enrollments sitting, I would say that's a good indicator, Tracy, that you are doing an amazing job getting them to that part of the invite process, and you're losing them on what we call in business the close, or I would call it the commitment. And so it's time to scrap that strategy and go, okay, I've been trying that. That's not working for me. It might work for some other, not working for me. So I need to go back and try something else, you know? And I would challenge you to go back and say, like, hey girl, you probably got the email, probably got lost in your, you know, in your inbox or went to your spam. Let's jump on the phone this week and get you all set up, map it out. I can walk you through it so it's not overwhelming, and we can just get started. Did you see that I added you to the group? You know, the group is really, really getting fired up. Do you see what I'm saying? So you need to go back and kind of go through that process. I don't know if that helps, but that's really good, Tracy, that you're getting them to that point. How should I handle people who have purchased Beachbody from other coaches, have been in my free groups? Honestly, I don't punish them because they made a commitment to someone else and now have come to me, so a lot of people have started with me that started with another coach, and even after the process of pointing them back to the other coach and, and telling them like, hey, I really don't like to step on other coaches' toes. It's not my style, and I just want to honor them. And so I'd love for you to at least give them one more chance, reach out to them, see if they can serve you, see if they have another group coming. And they have showed me screenshots, like the coaches really aren't responding to them. I'm like, wow, man, and so we go through that, and they're like, but I still have the Shakeology, I still have the program. Open arms, baby. Here we go. You want to know why? Because behind every one person, there's 2,000 people. Think about that. That's powerful, man. That is powerful. Let me tell you who was that person for me. Mary Howard. Mary Howard was not my challenger initially. It was just like a God thing, if you ask me. But I was like, sure, let me help you. Like, you know what I mean? Come in, come into the group. You can message me. Let's do this. You know what I mean? And look, she's lost 100 pounds. 100 plus pounds. I don't know what it is now. And she's in the running for the Beachbody Grand, 25,000 and then the grand prize and stuff, So, and she has sent me so many people before she became a coach, you know what I mean? Because behind her, there was 2,000 people watching her journey, and when people are like, what are you doing? Oh my gosh, gotta talk to my friend Summer. Do you see what I'm saying? And so, that's what I do. I'm like, look, you got the Shakeology still. You got the 21-day fix, girlfriend. You jump in here. We just need to get you switched over. And then let's do this. And then I just build the relationship. The shake. I'm not sure what you mean, Kara. I'm going to come back to that. I don't know if that helped, Christina. I love that they were in a group with you and that you've started to wrap your arms around them. Okay, let's see. April said, I bet it really gets to the needs. You're right, trying not to jump the gun. That's okay. April, you know what I love and what I hope you guys aren't doing? I hope you're not beating yourself up in the process, because the fact that you're taking action, like, you have my attention. That's why I'm on here on a Friday night. Do you know what I mean? Like, you guys really should be patting yourself on the back. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're taking action in this, in the face of fear, in the face of not knowing exactly what's coming next. You have complete belief and trust in me, like, okay, I don't know what to say next, you know what I mean? And you're trying. That's how we learn. That is how we learn, And so I hope that you guys aren't beating yourself up if, and maybe I scripted something out for you and you're like, oh, I totally jacked that up. It's okay. Your heart is going to shine through on social media in time, right? So you planted the seed, now you protect it, you go back, and like if you told everybody everything and got crickets or something or whatever, like, oh my gosh, what I just realized I did to you is I just like vomited excitement all over you, and I apologize for that. It really was just, I get so excited and so caught up in what it's done for me that I just can't contain myself. It's something that I'm working on. What I should have said was, how can I serve you? Where are you at in your journey? How can I support you and encourage you right now? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you can recover anything with heart. You can recover anything with heart. So, okay. Oh, Tracy, here we go. See what you said. So do you enroll them straight for the Beachbody website when you're on the phone with them? If you don't, yes, I don't. I've never used the Coach app for however long it's been out. I've never ever enrolled anybody. Actually, when I had an assistant that was trying to use it, like, I'd get them to that point. She was like, okay, I'm gonna get them going on the app. We started getting people piecing out on me, and I was like, stop the app. I don't want to use the app. Do you know what I mean? I'm going back to what I was doing. Do you know what I mean? And I course corrected immediately. So I have, again, if you go to Coach Essentials, I have, like, if you go to simplecoachlinks.com, and that's in Coach Essentials, if you go to, how to set up a challenger, like the checklist I was telling you guys about, the very first, like, little check in the box thing is how to set them up. And there's a link that takes you to another Google Doc that says you can do it this way with simplecoachlinks.com, which is what I use. So you go in, and this is only for products. You can't do this for signing someone up as a coach, but I put in my coach ID. It generates all the links for me off to the right-hand side, and then you double-click, copy the link, and then I test the link to make sure it goes to a proper my site. You know what I mean? And then I send it to them. if I'm not on the phone, or I will get them on the phone and be like, okay, I'm going to send the link right to you right now. Did you see it come through? Awesome. Click on it, or I'll do it on a Zoom call. I would more times than not, I end up with the links just in Facebook. Like, people don't always even want to get on the phone with me. Some do, some don't, but the links work really well, or sometimes I give steps like here, and this is also in the checklist, signing up the new challenger checklist or whatever. It's right there. It tells you exactly, it gives you an example of what I send. And so maybe that might help, to just start referring to that, all the time. Okay, let's see. I had someone who signed with someone else 8 months ago and didn't feel like she could rely on her, so I put her in last month and she joined our team. That is awesome. That is heart. I love that, Kara. Kara, that is amazing, girlfriend. Okay, a girl in town that I've invited twice just went live opening her challenge pack. My heart sank. I sent her a message and said I was excited for her. She apologized and had to go with her high school friend. I said, no worries. Welcome to the family. Heather, that has happened to me before. There's a really awesome challenger that I have right now who just had a breakthrough aha moment today in our challenge group that's starting on Monday. So on Friday, I do what would you run into a burning building for? I go live or I post my YouTube link on it that I've shared forever. It's in the template for this 30-day challenges. So she, I spent quite a bit of time with her. Let's see, how long did we move to Texas? So almost a year ago, probably. And she was so sweet. She is so sweet. We connected over the military, and her dad was in the military. And so we really connected. And she was going to commit she was ready to commit. And then her husband had a friend at work that she was with his wife was a Beachbody coach, and she was willing to give it to her at the coach discount, and so she went with this girl, right? And I said exactly what you said, no worries, welcome to the family. I'm gonna be cheering you from the sidelines for sure, you know what I mean? And I did. I continued to love bomb her, you know what I mean? Because she's amazing. And about a month ago, 45 days ago, she came back and she was just I'm really sorry. I went with her because I was kind of thinking about the price and I didn't really get the help I thought I would get. Can I come back? And I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Yes, I'm so honored that you came back, and I sent her a voice message, and we've been working together. And I took her straight through it. Let's start with the 5-day and then move into the 30-day. And today she had an aha moment with that, and we were celebrating back and forth. She was crying, it was such a huge moment. It took a year for us to get to that moment, and so that was really cool. But so, yeah, you never know, you guys, I love that. I love your heart, Heather. I'll wait and see how you think I should respond. Well, type it in here, Alicia. I probably, tomorrow I'll be at a seminar all day, and then I can respond to it. Okay, awesome, Tracy. And so let's just tweak along the way. Let's give that a good quarter. I always give everything a good, 3 months to see how it goes, and then let's reevaluate and see how it's working for you using some of those wordings and using the link and saying hey, if they don't respond to you or you kind of get crickets, say hey, I know it gets overwhelming. I know life gets busy, and let's jump on the phone this weekend and really walk through this. Let me get you all set up and get you, start road mapping this together so that you can get to and then repeat what they've told you, maybe their why or their goals are. Okay. See, I'm a lifer, and I'm here if things don't work out for her. Yes, you are a girlfriend. I love that. Okay. Maybe Alicia's not on here anymore, so that I could answer that. Okay, so hopefully that helped. I'm going to let you guys go, and hopefully what I want you guys to do is to continue to help each other this weekend. I do want you to unplug, so I don't want you to be tied to Team Courage over the whole weekend. I have to unplug tomorrow because I'm going to go learn how to be a better mom. So with Chad, but but if you guys are working through things, post in there. There's so many people. Post in the Big Team Courage page. There's so many people that can jump in and help. There's so much heart and success and people that have been in this business with us, Team Courage, for as long as I have. So they'll be able to jump in and help you. You guys can help each other. You can brainstorm together. You can fail together. You can succeed together. You're not going to do it perfectly, and don't expect that, and don't let that freeze you out just because you're like, I don't know what to say. Do you know what I mean? But also don't rush into it, because people unplug on the weekends. And so if they said something, if they respond to you tonight at 11, don't think that you have to respond to them by 7 a.m. or even any day Saturday, Sunday morning, maybe you wake up early to get your coffee and you check in on your messages. That's kind of like a routine that I do, and you sit down and you're like, hey girl, thanks for being patient with me. I unplug on Saturdays just to totally enjoy my family. And let me tell you why I go here, why you're planting the seed of what this business can look for them, for them down the road. That you're not connected to your telephone 24/7, that it's not glued to your head. Do you know what I mean? That you're not responding right away. Do you know what I mean? Because what you might get is a bunch of people that think you're the bomb diggity, the bomb diggity coach. You are the go-to coach for for challenge groups and stuff. Because you're at every beck and call and you're always there, 7 days a week. But and I've done that before, and then you go to say to them, hey, you are so encouraging. Look at the momentum you're building. I love your heart. I love your enthusiasm. It's contagious. You're exactly the kind of person that I love to link arms with, that I love to move forward in life. And have you ever considered doing what I do? And they go, oh, hell no, girlfriend. I love what you do, but I don't want to do what you do because you are available all the time. I don't have time for that. That wouldn't fit on my plate. I work full time. I have 3 kids. I have a husband. I'm on PTO. I'm doing this. Do you know what I'm saying? You've almost already counted them. You have groomed them to believe that this business can't fit in their life, when really it can. Usually when we're thinking we have to respond immediately, because that gets inside of me sometimes, that is, and don't take this wrong, that is an ego-based thing. An ego, I don't mean conceited type thing that's used, that when I heard the word ego, that's used to be what I thought it meant. Ego meaning I don't want them to think that whatever. I don't want them to think I don't care about them. I don't want them to think I'm ignoring them. I don't want them to think, do you know what I mean? You're placing those beliefs on top of them when you know your heart. Do you know what I mean? You know your heart. Okay? And you can't control what they think. Right? But a 24-hour to 48-hour gap between a response does not warrant someone to say that you don't care. And if they do say that, it's not you. It's them. You have to stand firm in that. That is their hurt and their scars from other relationships coming out and being displaced on top of you. Okay? And so you have got to allow yourself to run this business the way it was meant to be ran. In the mom cracks, in the dad cracks, in the full-time cracks, in the power pockets. You can create 20-minute power pockets, commit to 3 or 4 of them a day and run a kick, what business. Power pockets, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, boom, done. And it didn't take over your life. And people are like, dang, I can do that. I can do that. Of course, when you get to where I'm at, you know what I mean? And your husband's home with you, if that's a goal of yours, or has more flexibility and you have flexibility, you can do things you know what I mean? You can be a little bit more available. But you don't have a team of 15,000 yet. Notice I said yet. You don't have a team of 15,000 yet. So don't put that stress on yourself. You have a team of 1 yourself, right? That's where I started. Use the power pockets. You know what I mean? Use the power pockets. Give me 7 to 10 hours a week and I'll show you a business that really starts to build. I will. Okay? So you guys, don't be afraid to unplug. Okay, let's see. Yes, you are, Kara. A, flipping men. Okay, boundaries, crazy hard. Yes, Beth, it is crazy hard. I've been there. Boundaries are hard, but I promise you they're healthy. They're healthy. Chalene Johnson taught me that, about 6 years ago. when Chad deployed, I was listening to Car Smart. That was like when you had to put the CD in your car and all that kind of stuff. I was listening to Car Smart, and she's the one that taught me about boundaries. And I was like, that makes sense, man. Like, I don't have to respond to everything right away. I don't have to be a slave to that phone or a slave to this business, because if I were to ever have became that, I wouldn't be here. I'm human. I would burn out. There's not enough of me to go around to be the best mom, to be the best wife, you don't need to be everywhere all the time, 24/7. I would burn out, you guys. And so, trust me, as you grow, I'm going to teach you how to delegate. Don't worry about that right now. I'm going to teach you how to delegate. I'm going to teach you how to navigate this so you're working, like at this point in life, I'm working 12 to 20 hours a week, depending. You know what I mean? I can teach you how to do that. Trust me, okay? So don't stress about that kind of stuff. Okay, I think I got everything. I'm at camp. Too cold for a campfire. Ah, that's awesome, Heather. Okay, you guys, go hang out with your family. Go snuggle with your spouse. Go watch a good movie. Go unplug. Get some rest. Wake up tomorrow ready to tackle these messages with heart, and with enthusiasm. And just remember, there's only one of you. So you be you. There's only one you. You're the only one with your story. Your heart will shine over time. Stay teachable, stay coachable. I love that you guys plugged in with me tonight, and I'll be back on Sunday to kind of help you continue to navigate. Sound good? All right. Night, you guys.